Welcome back to our channel. Check out part 4 of this cabinet building series where Brian shows us how to cut and build the rails and stiles.
All right, now on this step, what we're going to be doing is cutting our 1 and 3/4 inch stock for the face frame, and then cut the pocket holes and crate jig them together, and then installing them onto the face frame of the cabinet. So the first step that I do is, once again, we know our cabinet is 30 inches high, so I'm going to square off an edge and then cut a piece 30 inches. There's the first side, which, by the way, your vertical pieces on the face frame on the cabinet is referred to as the stile. Horizontal is referred to as the rail. Okay, so now I have both my stiles cut, and then what I did was I cut my piece, a little gauge block here that's 1/4 inch thick. And what I use that for is typically on wall cabinets, especially when they're going to be put together, you're mounting, one cabinet next to another cabinet, you want to have a 1/4 inch reveal past the edge of your box, so that it gives you space to connect the two cabinets together. So what I do, for the sake of speed, I use a gauge block to give me that reveal. Okay, so I have the 1/4 inch reveal on that side. Drop my wood. And it moved on me. 1/4 inch reveal on that side. So now what I do is, usually for accuracy, I will what they call burn an inch and remember to subtract, which is 17 1/4. So it's actually 16 1/4. So now I'll cut my rails at 16 1/4. Okay, now when I did my dado up 1 3/4 inches, now placing this rail flush with the bottom of the stile, my rail is now flush with my bottom shelf of the box. So that one fits good. And because, just make sure. Perfect. It's at 16 1/4. I wouldn't tell you even if it wasn't. The old carpenter that taught me the trade years ago used to tell us that in trim carpentry, for accuracy, when you make your mark, only make one mark, and then when you cut, probably can't see it, but split the line. That gives you the most accuracy. All right, so now what I'm going to do is attach these together with the Craig jig. So I'll be removing the box for now. Set it off to the side. And start my attachments. Now, when you're doing a Craig jig, what I do is I'll go ahead and do my pocket holes on my rails so that when I screw them together, so they'll be on, the pocket holes will be here, so then when I screw them together, they'll screw in from the back side like that. It's a really strong bond. I always throw a little glue on it too. So let's get this back oriented again. Flip it over. Get the old Craig jig on there. So just to show you a little closer, you put the Craig jig on there like this, center it up, make sure it's on your little guides there, and clamp her down. Then you just repeat the steps on the other side. Gets a little confusing sometimes, but as the people that work with me know, I get confused fairly easily. Okay, the first one is done. Sometimes these get a little out of adjustment, so you have to make. Again, it's hard to see, but there's like a little positive and negative sign there. So if you want a little less, you just kind of spin it towards the negative sign, and it makes it a little easier to clamp down. Center it up. Hit it. Clamp it. They do make these little plugs for these Craig holes, pocket holes, that if you're doing a more, you want it to look a little more like you would want in your own home kitchen cabinets, not a cabin. They make these little plugs that you can glue in after you seat them, and then it doesn't show the hole. The holes are going to be on the inside. They're going to be facing back. You're really not going to see them anyways. So I don't usually plug them. All right. Put this down. Now, set this off to the side here. I want to clean my surface here. Clear out the holes. All right, I am using more the rough surface to the outside because that's what I want showing in my particular cabinets. I want it to look a little rougher. So the side that has been ripped, that has more of a finished side, will be on the inside, which will actually kind of go with all the finish that we've been putting the tops and bottoms and the sides will all stay on the inside, and the rough look will stay on the outside. Upside down. I've done that before too. I've screwed the rail, which was the right direction, but had the stile, the rail that was one direction and the stile facing the other, and got it screwed together, and it was a mess. So you can do this two different ways. Our jig here, or our clamp, I'm sorry, is designed so that you have a fairly wide surface here. So what you do is you get it placed to where it's flush with the edge. And you clamp it together like that. So now everything is butted together, nice and square, flush, and even with the bottom. Then on the Craig, they actually make their screws for this type of connection, and really seems to cinch them in. still a little tight. So, as you can see, kind of hard to see, you got a joint that holds together through the pocket hole. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish up, and I just realized I forgot to glue that one. We're going to let that one go, because I don't feel like doing it again. But I'll make sure and glue these. Again, just a very fine coat is all you need. Make another little adjustment here. Bring it out just a tad more. Alright, everything's flush. Time to screw. I know, I seem lost. Okay, second one done. Now, let's move on to the other. Oh, there it is. I was trying to find my other drill. It needed a little bit more of an extension on that. So, put that tip away. And this to here. Gives me a little bit longer extension to get in there for to install the pocket screw. We'll go ahead and glue both sides just because I'll be putting it I have lots of glue on my tool pouches. Okay, now, typically, once you get the other side done, it kind of gives you it's almost like holding together by itself. So I really don't even have to clamp it at this point. You just make sure everything is flush and you're pushing down so that the face of it will be flush as well. Much better. Okay, and then the last one. Again, push down, keep everything flush. face frame is put together. Everything looks good, nice and flush, and no cracks. So now what we're going to do is put the carcass back up here and make me some room first here. And then we're going to attach the face frame to the box. Okay, we have our box here. This is our front face. Now this is where I'm going to be getting my clamps back out so that I can kind of get it into place and then kind of move it around as needed before I put the screws to it. I don't usually put any glue on this. And it doesn't have to be real tight. You just want it enough to just hold it in place so that you can get your 1/4-inch reveals, which I'll have to dig my little block, find my little block again. The clamp on. Alright. These clamps have like little plastic covers on them so that it doesn't really mar up the faces of your wood. Okay. Find the little gauge block that I threw down. There we go. And there's my 1/4-inch there, 1/4-inch there, and 1/4-inch there. If I did it right, the should be 1/4-inch on the other side. Well, what do you know? Off just a tad. So I'll just split the difference. No, actually, I think it needed to be moved. There. And we're now flush with our bottom shelf, the bottom of the box. So now, with that being in, tops and bottoms are in good position. I'm flush there. Stand to come down a hair there. There we go. Alright, so now we're flush on top, flush on bottom. We have our 1/4-inch. Well, we did 1/4-inch reveals. Alright, we're good to go. So now all we have to do is take our Kreg screws and we're going to come in from behind and shoot those screws in real quick, and our face frame will be on our cabinet. So it's starting to look like an actual cabinet now. Now what I do, just because these clamps are kind of in the way. I'll just do one on top, one on bottom, and then I can remove the clamps. And voila! So now, what I'll do is just finish putting those screws into the back side into the box so that it's together, and then I'm going to set up for building our door. We're going to be making the door again out of pallet wood. So I happen to have some that I've already broke down in the past and have been just kind of hanging on to it. And so when we come back, I'll have the pallet wood laid out and show you how we're going to build the door.
Join us next time for Step 5, where Brian shows us how to build the door for the cabinet.